What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Back on the Bossman Show here in front of the show, Dustin Kerns, App State Mountaineers out of the Sun Belt Conference. This game win streak going on right. Dustin, good to see you again, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and it's always great to be on the Bossman Show.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, let me ask you about this game win streak you've been on, Dustin, man. What's been that kind of the keys to what kind of to get you on this roll you guys had? You've had a great last three weeks, man. Really good.
Yeah, we're playing well. I think we've won, 6 in a row, maybe 7 of our last 8 or something like that. But, I just think that we've got great chemistry. We've got great camaraderie. I think guys are really aligned and playing for one another. And I think that's showing up on both sides of the ball.
No doubt. And Dustin, talk about this, man, for fans who don't quite understand. It's a process of getting better. And your guys obviously got better this year. The season went on. Non-con was tough, but each week you still been having everyday guys trying to go 1-0 every day, get better every day. And the results of what you see now, this win streak you guys have been on and get a lot of wins, racking the wins up. Now you pretty much top of the Sun Belt right now.
Yeah, and we have a really competitive conference, I think, when you look at it, 1 through 10, I think, separated by just a couple of games. And so, I think that especially during this era of the portal and things like that, it's hard to get, a group, kind of into roles quickly, and so that sometimes can take a while. I think that, here we are in February, but I think, certainly we've been able to get some guys into roles. And I think when you do that, obviously getting guys, roles, quote, defined, but them accepting and fulfilling are the most important part of those roles. And I think we've got some guys that have accepted and are fulfilling their roles.
No doubt, like you kind of alluded to, in this new world of NIL and transfer portal and wanting to play at the next level overseas in NBA or whatever, guys kind of get that disease of me. And like you said, you pretty much have a one-year team every year, pretty much doing the JUCO thing every year, one new team every year. So it's hard to get guys to buy into a role when they have their eyes set not where their feet are right now. And just talk about when you bet a young man and really kind of figure out what's his why for wanting to be an App State Mountaineer.
Well, and certainly we've had guys leave here and go to the highest level and things like that, and that's just part of it, right? But you got to just bloom where you're planted, and I think that, right now, guys are, I think probably across the country, and I say that in a generalization, right, are probably starting to drift mentally to, what am I going to do next year? And those are the guys that are not going to finish well, individually, because, there's plenty of time in April or so to figure out, what's next. But right now, what's important is, guys to understand that some of that stuff is not a reality yet, and they got to just their market value will only increase if they, once again, bloom where they're planted and do what they're doing now. If they're kind of start focusing on next year, they're not going to play as good, and their market value just simply goes down.
Exactly, Dustin. I've told young men this from my time being in the NBA. Scouts look at how much your team won. And the more you win, not simply the stats, if you've been on a winning program, they figure you are a winner yourself. And you have some tools and skills that can help them. And I feel like young men don't understand it at the highest levels that like I'm at in the overseas ball, they look at your win-loss record and how you contribute to that, not your stats all the time.
No doubt. No doubt. And I think that is something that kids and maybe the people around them don't, they probably hear, but at the end of the day, people want people that impact winning. And somebody that averaged 12 points and was on a winning team, the market value is way more if they average 20 points on a losing team. It's just that simple.
No doubt. And I want to ask you about this, Dustin. I see you all have this max Sunbelt Conference Challenge, and you step out of conference in the middle of your conference slate to play a team against Michigan, get a win against them on Saturday. Talk about this challenge, man, and how's it been for you guys? How cool is it for you guys to do that and get a break from Sunbelt for a day and play a non-con game this late in the year?
Well, it's certainly designed to, create a non-conference opportunity. So the game one of the challenge, and then most important, we all get a home game. So every team gets a home game, every team gets a road game. But Division I home games are hard to get, right? And so the second game is not decided until January. So hopefully it's pairing up, teams similar in standings to create another net, opponent. And so if our league is paired up with their top team, it's another non-conference opponent that, hopefully maybe strengthens the net and, helps with the seeding down in March.
No doubt, man. And you beat you beat a South Alabama team last week on a Wednesday night. Richard does a good job. They're a tough team to beat. So I know you're really happy with last week because it's the Michigan and South Alabama, especially in your conference with what Richard does down there, man. Great win at home there.
Yeah, in our conference, obviously, Troy's been really good, and our conference has been, there's a lot of teams, and so, certainly we got to keep it going though. You're always good as your last games. Now we've got to go on the road again to a very good Georgia Southern team, and then get all the way up to James Madison, and always a really good competitive game. And James Madison already won at Troy, and so, we expect every game in this league to be a fight.
No doubt, man. And you all play a lot of clutch time games and talk about your team's resolve of coming together in that adversity to actually execute when it counts the most, because you put a lot of these close games, which is going to help you down the road, of course. But just the fact that you guys are coming through these tough games now and making the right plays, getting the stops you need to do, and just not folding under the intense pressure of clutch time.
Yeah, I think that, obviously experience is always the best teacher. We've been able to just be in some close games, get in those situations, and our guys are just getting more and more comfortable in those. And certainly, I think our guys have a real big belief right now that, we're going to find a way to just win the game. It might not be perfect. We're okay with it not being perfect. We got to find a way to just win the game.
100%. And what you guys are doing offensively for is really sharing the basketball and really being unselfish that way. And talk about that piece of it right there, getting guys to understand that it might be, but I might have a decent shot, but I can get my guy a better shot if I just make that one more swing and do that swing thing we love to do in basketball. So, how about you guys really buying into that belief of to make sure the ball pops and getting the right shots for everybody?
Yeah, it's we talk, keep the ball hot, right? And so we show our guys clips of it. It's a basketball with no agenda is really hard to defend, and so. If you're moving the ball might come right back to you and get you a better shot, right? But it's something we emphasize. We have an assist board that we actually stole from the Atlanta Hawks idea that we got in our locker room, and that's a big deal. And the winner of the assist board gets on the wall of winners. And so this just promoting, playing the right way.
No, Darren Dustin, I was talking to Mike Bray about this the other day when he had a little bit of some downtime about how fans don't understand what happens on the second side and how the screening action works, having the right screen angle, gets the open shots that you see on Sports Center and on the highlights. And kind of talk about for the fans about how important the second side is and the screening angles of who's setting the screen in any action is really paramount to have great shots you see to go in the hoop that you see on Sports Center at nighttime.
Oh, no question. No question. And we always say, like, not the majority, but all teams are really good at first side defense. I mean, just otherwise they're not going to be playing at this level. And so you've got to get to the second, your third side. You've got to create some closeouts, for each other. And eventually, if you make enough plays for somebody else, they're going to make enough plays for you. And so we talk about usage a lot with our guys, that how having a high usage is not necessarily always a good thing. That you've got to prove that you can be able to play without the basketball. 95% of the game is played without the basketball in your hands. And so you got to prove that you can impact winning without the ball and with the ball. And so, making the right winning play, if you've got two on the basketball, you got to move it. That's our rule. And so, and then we'll go from there. But, certainly we've got guys that have really bought into that, and we hopefully keep it going.
No doubt, man. And you're really doing a good job protecting the basketball too. Less than 10 turnovers per game, and I always tell the fans on this show here, Dustin, that the ball is everything. The ball is the program. If the ball's not protected, you can't defend those pick sixes. You're done for. You can't defend that transition. So talk about how you got you guys to really buy into value in the basketball, not turning the ball over.
Yeah, we simply just talk about protecting the ball, right? But you're right. You got the whole program in your hands, but just protect the ball and make the right play. If you got two on the ball, move it. But let's value the basketball. And once again, we talk about a basketball with no agenda is really hard to defend.
No doubt, man. And rebounding the basketball too, because fans are saying that, like you and I do, Dustin, that the possession game is turnovers and rebounds. And if you can own an offensive glass and own defensive glass, especially if your guards getting in the fight too, you don't worry about the pitcher. He can get them, get it and go. Let's talk about that piece. Make sure your guards involved in the rebound defensively, just making sure you're crashing the glass with the right people to get extra possessions to win games as they become more tighter February into March.
Well, no doubt. And we always talk about it. It's just real simple. If you care about winning, then you care about rebounding. And so we have a thing where the leading rebounder gets to pick music in practice as long as it's clean.
Yes, 100%.
Up to the next game. So we've got guards down there, really trying to rebound because they want to. They want to listen to their music for a few days, right? And so, but we just harp on it. Hey, listen, like if you don't really care about rebounding, you really don't care about winning. And so everybody's got to get involved in the fight.
No doubt, man. Well, let me ask you last one for you, man. I know I'll talk to you about a little bit off the air, but man, the snow, it's been crazy, and in Georgia, the ice, and the Carolinas, man. Like, how's it for your guys like me who from like Georgia, don't used to snow and ice, getting used to? How have you guys handled this whole weather thing and boom that you've been having here lately, man?
Well, fortunately, we're equipped for it, right? We've got 3 ski resorts here, so our community is. Rallies together and clears the roads and things like that because of the ski resorts. But certainly we've had about 2 weeks of snow. Our kids are back in school today, which is nice. Our kids have literally missed 2 weeks of in-person school. They've been going on remote learning and things like that. So it's great to get our kids back in school, seeing their friends, get that in-person learning.
No, Dustin, man, keep doing a great job. I love seeing you at Lake Point. Hope to see you down the road here in March after you do some good things in the tournament, man, hopefully.
Well, JR, always great to be on the Bossman Show. We appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. See you soon, man.
Go Mountaineers, take the stairs. Thanks. All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right, man. See you, man.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. Covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.